Hey there, good morning. Palm Beach County Fire Rescue, my alma mater in a way. Kenneth Church, Engine 26, Palm Beach County Fire Rescue, retired. Many of you know me, but if you don't, tell you a little bit of my background. I'm a fifth generation firefighter and paramedic. My dad was a firefighter in New Jersey. My grandfather and my great-grandfather, they were all members of Truck 17, Maywood, New Jersey. And my great-great-grandfather from another New Jersey department. So the fire department is some thing that I've been around my whole life. And my son and my brother both work for Palm Beach County. So I have a vested interest in the health and well-being of firefighters and paramedics and EMTs and the administration of our wonderful department. I've spent 31 years in EMS and fire service, and 24 of those years were with Palm Beach County Fire Rescue, starting in 1999 with Class 27, the Wolfpack, Go Wolfpack. Most of those have just started into the drop, so I'm so proud of my brothers and sisters from my class. I believe we're just graduating Class 91 now. That's really something. But my career started out with Life Fleet Atlantic ambulance service, and in 1992 we had a call that some of you may remember. It was on Locks Road in Boca Raton at the Palm Beach County, Broward County border. And there were 7 teenagers, I think they were all girls, that rolled a car into Deepwater Canal, the Hillsborough Canal, towards the end of Locks Road. And when I got there, all the kids were laid out on a tarp on the side of the canal bank, and we were doing CPR. Helicopters were flying around. There was more emergency vehicles than I probably ever saw in my career. And the scene reminded me of something that the scene in the Glades probably looked like last week, a very challenging incident that our department responded to last week with a lot of pediatric patients and other victims that were in cardiac arrest. And I thought about quitting my job. I was on the job as an EMT with the ambulance for about 3 months. We did all the emergency transporting for the county back then. The county fire rescue didn't transport. The ambulance rode along with them. And so that was an interesting time in my career. But month 3, when I had that difficult incident with the 7 girls, that night I told my partner, I don't think this is for me, and it's unfortunate that I'm going to have to go home and tell my dad, who's a firefighter, that I can't do this job, and that's going to be difficult, but I don't think this is for me. And luckily, my partner said, you have a couple incidents like that throughout a career. He said, fortunate or unfortunate as it might be, most of our job is picking up elderly folks off the floor in the middle of the night and taking them to the hospital. It's not always like a movie, and it's not always that exciting, but there will be some challenges through your career. But most of it is just run-of-the-mill routine calls, Kenny, and I hope that you think about coming back next shift, and I did. And that was in 1992, so that was quite a while ago, and I was able to complete a career in the fire service. But there were challenges. I worked at some very busy stations where we ran over 1,000 calls per unit per year. Probably have been on about 18,000 calls in the course of 30 years. And in 2015, I had a call that was very challenging with a little girl that had a stroke. She had a brain aneurysm, and she looked just like my daughter, was the same age as my daughter, and was wearing my daughter's school shirt because they went to the same school. And she had a blown pupil and needed to be paralyzed and intubated in the living room in front of her parents. And that changed everything for me. I never really seemed to be affected by calls, even pediatric calls prior to that. And that was a pivotal moment for me, and I started drinking more than normal. My mental health was spiraling out of control, and a few months later, I ended up in a rehab center for PTSD and alcoholism, and neither of which I thought I had a problem with until I ended up in treatment for it and got some information and some knowledge and got some help. So the reason why that's important is for anybody that's suffering right now and thinking that maybe you can't do this job, or maybe you're suffering from depression, PTSD, anger, frustration, addiction, alcoholism. There's help for these things. You know, that's my message today, and that's why I'm making this video today. Is I thought I was beyond help. I thought you just don't know. No one will understand, and that's just not true. And the other reason why I'm making this video is I've lost many of my friends to addiction and suicide. There's guys that I sponsored in the recovery program that have either died from overdose or suicide. There's guys at our department that I was very close with that committed suicide or died from addiction. And I think that's always probably going to be a part of our culture, unfortunately, but is there something we can be doing better? I think that our department is a leader in most of the industry, and including peer support. But what can we do better? And it's not a ding against the department or the peer support group, but it's something we should always be looking at, is what are we doing and what can we do better? One of the things that we can do better is recognizing that somebody's having a problem and reporting it or offering them help. I think so many times I was mouthing off at the coffee pot in the morning and people just wrote it off as, hey, Kenny, he's just kind of a crazy guy, he's kind of nutty and he just talks like that. But there was an underlying thing that was really a life-threatening potential. You know, there's a culture of don't rat out your buddy. Men and women, you know, we look out for each other in this job, and we have developed this sense of don't rat out a friend. And I think it needs to be a culture of, if you see something, say something. And that's quite a cultural change for us, is to put yourself in a vulnerable situation of see something, say something. And someone might be upset with you for doing it, but you might save their life. And I've been put in that situation a few times where I saw something and I said something and we responded, and peer support reacted, and someone was upset about it. You know, the next day they said, I didn't want to be in the spotlight like that. Why did you do that? And I just felt good knowing that maybe I saved somebody's life in a way. And sometimes people come to you later and say, hey, I know I acted out and came at you aggressively after you called in the help squad. And sometimes they say, I'm grateful you did because I got the help that I needed. And that's just a tough thing to do, and it's going to be a tough thing to change in our culture. But I think it's necessary that we recognize when a brother or sister needs help, and that we know how to access the resources that are available to get them the help they need. So I love you all so much. You've been chosen by a higher power in this universe to provide a service to the citizens and the visitors of Palm Beach County, and you're part of one of the greatest services and one of the most wonderful departments providing that service that I can think of, Palm Beach County Fire Rescue. So thank you for your service and all you do. And if you have any questions or need guidance or support, please contact Karen Hurley or Scott Jones or myself, Kenny Church, And you can get my phone number and email address through One Brother, One Sister. And God bless you and keep you as you go forward to do His work. And that's all I have from Franklin, North Carolina, from the loft in the cabin here. And glad I could zoom in today and hopefully help somebody with this message. So thank you very much.